This is part 2 of Kosii's podcast. If you want to check out part 1, the link will be in the description down below. Definitely go check that one out before this one. This is the show where I talk to your favorite creators, get to know what it's like behind the scenes, and getting to know them even better. Comment down below who you would like to see on the podcast next. Make sure to subscribe, follow us on Spotify, grab your fish and chips, hope you're comfy, because this is the Notme Hour. Guys, this is part 2 of the Kosii of the Kosii interview. How you doing, Kosii?
Yeah.
You're still good. You're still good. It's the same day for us, but for you guys, it's been a week. It's just been about 5 minutes.
I don't know how much this is going to be cut up, but so far, by the way, we have nearly been recording for 2 hours. So
I'm gonna just leaving this uncut. I can't edit this. I cannot. I'm not putting myself through that. Oh man! But first of all, you're hydrated, guys. Come on, hydrated. Just grab myself a bottle of water. No, first of all, I want to talk about RCX. Yeah. What is RCX? For anybody who doesn't know, who's new to the theme park Tycoon community, doesn't know what RCX is.
Basically, RCX, I think at this point, it has been so long that probably a lot of people won't even know what it is, unless I've really explained it to, to them in like a stream or something like that. But basically, RCX is, was a massive event that me, Timing0808, and Oni Hate You is a quite like old YouTuber at this point who no longer makes content. We basically ran an event called RCX, which stands for Roblox Coaster Expo. Let's go.
No way.
Not Roller Coaster Expo. Everyone gets that wrong. It's not Roller Coaster Expo, guys. It's Roblox.
It's Roller Coaster Expo.
Yeah.
It is Roller Coaster.
No. But basically, yeah, it was just an event that me, Timon, and Benny run back in 2021 in December.
Has it really been that long? Oh my days! It has been that
long. Yeah, I know. It's crazy, isn't it? It does
no
not
way.
Feel like it's been 3
no
years,
way. I don't believe that. It can't. It has not been 3 years since the last one.
Insane. I know. Insane. But basically comprised of a bunch of booths, a bunch of convention halls where people could showcase off what they're building, their build group, their YouTube channel, their merch, whatever they really wanted to show off, as well as a really nice coaster as well, which was built by a bunch of the Masons, which, I mean, I'm not really going to go into the Masons lore right now because that'll be like another like 20 minutes explaining that. But basically, yeah, it was, we had like roller coasters, we had shops, massive buildings with stuff like that. But I guess one of the major parts that people will probably remember still most if they, or will know the most is, of course, the award show, the RCX
Let's go.
Awards. We actually gave away physical awards to 3 separate people as well, which was insane. I can actually go get my RCX award if you want.
Can you?
Show it? I'll show it for the camera.
This is probably my favorite thing about RCX is that you actually give out physical awards. Is he can't hear me? Can you hear me?
There we go. Yeah. I can hear you. It's
Hello.
literally right here, as you can see.
I can't see, but you guys can.
No.
You guys can.
Yeah,
I have seen it before though, and I do know it looks really sick. As I was just saying, it's probably like I think it's my favorite thing about RCX is that you give out physical awards. Not many, events do that.
No, like even the crazy thing is that even an event like Rapper, which a lot of you will probably know if you're into like more Roblox theme park stuff, is like I'd say a bigger event than RCX even. It's literally like an official Roblox event, if that makes sense. Like Roblox actually recognize it as an event. But and it's like partnered with Roblox, but even then, at that size, they still do not give away physical awards. Their award show is literally just like
crazy.
They don't even have prizes like a $5 gift card or something. Like at RCX, we gave away not only these awards to the top 3 people, which was best YouTube creator, best Theme Park Time 2 build group, and best Theme Park Time 2 player just as a whole. And then other than that, we also gave away like $10 gift card awards. We also gave away $5 gift card awards. And like, in total, we spent like hundreds and hundreds, if not like thousands of pounds or dollars or whatever currency on like
insane.
Yeah, which is unique, I'd say, to Roblox. Like even Roblox events themselves, like that Roblox runs.
I don't
some
even
of them
think
they actually give away trophies. It's something that I was very adamant on doing because it's such a cool thing to actually reward someone with something physical. Because of course it's great to say like, wow, yay, now I can tell people that I was voted the best YouTuber in 2021. Like, but it's so much cooler to say like, look, here's my trophy. I actually won something. I won this. I got this because of RCX. You know,
yeah,
sort of
I'm so sad that I wasn't like at the time you did that. I wasn't in the community at that time, which is crazy actually. But I would really, if you do another one, I would do like if you say I'll grind even harder to be to win the best YouTube award, which I know is impossible when you're facing against Benny, you, Timon, but I would try. Because those awards look so freaking sick.
I can tell you, like, in 2021, it was genuinely like a landslide. So with the votes, we had to actually, like, kind of counteract the subscriber count, if that makes sense. So, for example, with, like, Benny's votes and Vitamin Delicious, who was still around back then.
Oh, yeah.
And even Maliboomer and Timon as well, partly, we had to, like, either half or 1/3 their amount of votes to kind of make it fair, because obviously a lot of people are gonna vote Benny because that's the person
it's just
they know.
Like a popularity contest, right?
Yeah, exactly. So to kind of counteract that, we had to like adjust the votes to that, and even still then, Benny won with quite a landslide, which is crazy because like a year before that, I actually won Best Theme Park Tycoon 2 Creator the year before at someone else's award show. I actually won that. Then in RCX 2021, despite the fact that I was literally the host of the event, I was like 5th place or something like that.
No way. Okay, then I'm cooked. I'm cooked.
Like,
I'm freaking cooked.
In the space of like 1 year, it's somehow like Benny came, Vitamin Delicious came, Maliboomer and Timon grew so much and got so much better at making videos that like I was like, bro, I'm screwed. I'm not even like I'm out of this, bro. What the hell, bro? Like, yeah, it was insane. But I do still have a trophy here. And just to explain this a little bit as well, this one here is actually smaller than the actual real one. The actual real one is like 1/3 bigger, I think, something like that, maybe.
Wow.
Just less than 2 times the size, something like that. I just have a miniature version because obviously the trophies were very expensive, but me, Timon, and Oni still wanted one just to remember the event. But yeah, it was really cool. I'd love to do it again. You know the problem with doing it again though? It takes a lot of effort.
It takes a lot of effort. I can imagine trying to do a community-wide event as well. Jeez.
Yes. And the thing is as well with it is that I partly would love to do another RCX, but I feel like each year or like every couple years I do one big thing for like the community. I better do like one big community resource or event, and I feel like the Theme Park Tycoon 2 workshop is probably that.
Yeah,
like,
I was literally just thinking that was probably 2024 workshop.
Yeah, exactly. Like the thing with the workshop is that it needs to be constantly maintained for years, whereas RCX is 1 year and then it's done, you know, and then you can work on to move on to something else. But because of the workshop, I don't think I physically have the time to do RCX. Like, I think
that's a real shame, though. That is a real shame.
Yeah,
but it's 100% understandable, of course.
Yeah. If the workshop never happened, I think RCX 2024 would have happened, but I just don't have the time.
No. Like, RCX 2024 or workshop? I think that's actually an interesting question.
What I will say is some good news. I am thinking, all right, and I'm not going to make I'm thinking about doing, instead of an RCX with actually the convention stuff attached and all that sort of stuff, just doing a Theme Park Tycoon 2 awards, okay?
Yeah.
Maybe not this year because I don't really have the money for it this year, but like next year maybe. Because obviously the thing with RCX as well is that like I paid for probably 20% of the awards. Like, no, I paid for literally like maybe even less than 20% because at the time I was by far the smallest creator. Oni H had like a couple times more subscribers than me, and then Timon had like 10 times the amount of subscribers, if not more. So Timon paid for probably at least like 80% of the actual event in terms of the awards and stuff like that, which was very, very generous and very kind of him. But the issue is with me is that like having 3 separate people, 3 separate large creators funding it is very like easy then, because you between the 3 of us we have quite a lot of money to spend on something like that. But then when it's just me doing it, I'm spending then 3 times the amount that I normally would, which I'm not gonna lie, guys. I do not make anywhere near enough money on YouTube to like foot
No,
the bill.
what do you mean? Like, you were just living in your LA mansion. You just took your LA mansion. You took your private jet all the way to the UK. Come
yeah,
on
exactly,
now.
guys.
Yeah.
It's that's the main thing behind it. But at some point, I'd love to do some Theme Park Tycoon 2 workshop awards, or maybe even if I do find the time one day, maybe as I grow as a creator on YouTube, I can actually start to hire editors and do less of that work myself, or I can, you know, start to focus more on that instead of doing stuff like maybe games. I'll not do as much, but I don't really see that in my future, at least in the next year or so. So maybe one day I'll do another RCX, but
is there like a way that like the community can support RCX is to like, you know, like Kickstart it or something?
I don't know. It's the thing with RCX is that a lot of the support comes when RCX actually starts. So it's stuff like buying plots, people buy that with Robux, and then that's also the thing with the RCX awards compared to like if I wanted to do a Theme Park Time 2 Workshop awards, a lot of the actual awards for the RCX awards are paid for by the booths. Like people are like, why do you charge people to buy booths? That seems ridiculous. And it's like a little, but at the same time, those Robux then go into actually, you know, the Robux rewards, the gift cards, the actual awards themselves, and just paying for that sort of stuff. That is what that goes into. And without the RCX convention side, that can't fund then the RCX award side, you know? It's that sort of stuff that just you don't have unless you're doing an actual full RCX event. So there's not really much that like I'd say the main thing that people can do to support RCX is just coming together as a community. I think that like the main thing with RCX is like it feels a bit pointless if everyone's going to be so split and divisive on everything.
Yeah, right.
And the other thing as well is just I'd love to see someone else do an RCX type event. Maybe not as big as RCX. And the thing with RCX is that if I do another one, it's I've got to one up my previous RCX. I'm gonna build a bigger and better event. I can't just build the same thing.
That's always the thing as well, trying to top your best sort of thing, you know?
Exactly, yeah.
Which is always going to be difficult.
Oh, definitely. Like after RCX 2021, with how big that was, hard to top. But if someone else, like another creator or another like building group or something like that, actually hosted an event similar to RCX, I'm completely down for you to do that. And it would give me more inspiration to do it, you know, because then I see if it's successful and people want to see that, then maybe I will do RCX. But at the moment, it's not even a thing of like whether I want to. It's more of whether I can. Like, if I have the time, if I have the money, if I have the, you know, the actual.
That makes sense.
Yeah, it's just that sort of stuff. Yeah, exactly.
Well, going back onto Theme Park Tycoon 2, what are your thoughts been on the updates recently? I actually can't remember the updates. Oh, we got the G-Force and the new primitives. What have you thought about the new primitives and the textures of being a builder and everything? Yeah.
So, I'm not gonna lie, I find it really difficult sometimes to make like a update video that's really like, wow, this is really great.
No way.
You have to be like, whoa, this is like one of the coolest updates we've ever got, Dennis. Whoa, it's insane. Wow. Like, because otherwise people are not gonna be like, I don't want to watch a video about this lame update. So you have to kind of make it, but
bit more
with the last update, I really struggled because I mean, for me, it was just really disappointing.
Wow, really?
I mean, the thing is, when you really break it down, we got a new launch freefall, which is just a drop tower, basically, Dennis. We've already got that. It's just another reskin of a ride, which like has been going on now for years. He's been doing this sort of stuff like where he updates coasters and flat rides for years.
I just sort of consider that as like a bonus sort of thing to the update now. It's
exactly
not supposed to be the main thing. I just want to see it as this is an old this used to be like an old model. Now it's updated, which is nice.
Yeah, exactly. And then over that we got the G-Force, which is a really cool ride, but
I think that's my favorite flat ride. I'm not gonna lie.
But you don't see them. You don't like that. I think I've only ever been to one theme park that has them. Oh, excuse me. They're very much like carnival.
Yeah,
like you
that
go
is
to like,
the thing.
fair.
But it's cool that we're getting a bit of a you know carnival inside of the theme park game, which is cool.
Yeah, but I just I wasn't really that bothered about that. The textures aren't even something that Dennis added. Those were just added to Roblox.
Yeah, those
Studio,
were Roblox ones.
So that wasn't even Dennis that did that.
No.
And then other than that, we got new primitives and the new like coaster builder thingy, which don't care about the coaster thing because I'm not a coaster builder. Cool. And a lot of coaster builders hate the predictive coaster thing as much as it is cool. A lot of people do hate it because it's just annoying sometimes. You know, like,
it can be really annoying. I won't lie.
Yeah, and then other than that, we got the new primitives, which was literally the only thing that I really cared about in the update, and obviously the materials. I really like the new materials. But...
I think the materials is I can't remember what I did a stream when it came out, and I like listed like my top, I think, well, however many updates, the like additions to the game, sorry, there were.
Yeah,
I think the materials were the second or the first. They were like tied, you know. I really love the new materials because they look at the set. If audio listeners, look at the set though. It's using some of the new materials. We got like plaster on the walls. We got that's really about it. Leather on the chairs, plaster, leather. Some of the best new some of the best new textures. It's really cool what you can do with them.
The other thing as well, like if you go through the list of updates. Without the context of how big the gap was between updates, you might look at that and go, "Oh, why are you complaining? That's a pretty good update." But
that is true. That is true.
The space between updates are like 6 to 8 weeks now.
I know,
it's mental.
It is. Like, it's rough. It's rough. We gotta scrape the bottom of the barrel, guys. we gotta. Come on, Dennis, please update. I don't know. There's obviously gotta be a reason. Like real life stuff or something. I don't know. Game theory.
The Kosii game theory is coming out, boys.
No way.
If I'm correct, boys, I'm gonna come back to this clip. I'm gonna go. I told you. I was right. But I think personally that Dennis is working on a new game. He's working on something else. I think like that is my prediction. Because
I don't know. That is to be real. I can see that happening.
Yeah.
But I don't know how I feel.
I'm
gonna take that as sorry. If that is true, I don't know how I would feel about that, to be real, because this is the Theme Park Tycoon 2 is an amazing game. So why not just build off of that and actually keep it alive?
Exactly. Yeah. Well, the reason why I say this and the reason why my prediction is that is because Dennis did something very similar actually, where he only was updating the game like every 2 to 3 months. Back in like, I can't remember what year it was now. I think it was like 2021 or something.
Right.
And some of you may also know that Dennis hasn't only made Theme Park Tycoon 2, but another game called Water Park World.
Yeah.
And that's what happened when he was working on Water Park World. It's something very similar to what's going on right now. So I don't even think that he's working on a Theme Park Tycoon 2 free. I don't think he's working on
no, I doubt that. I doubt that.
But I think that he's working on another game completely. Although, guys, I could be completely wrong. Dennis might be watching this and laughing.
What would it be though? Like Train Tycoon 2? What the freak? I don't know. What do you think it would be?
I think the
amusement park carnival tycoon.
No,
would it be a tycoon?
I think it'd be still a tycoon. But my thing, what I think it could be
like a shooter or a horror or something like that.
No, I still think it'll be a tycoon because Dennis has always done like tycoon games, but I think it'll be like my only thing that I can think of is something like a resort or hotel tycoon where it's like actually like Theme Park Tycoon 2 where you can build it.
That sounds like it has a riveting gameplay.
Yeah, but, like, building an actual like hotel and like building the rooms.
It does sound pretty cool like that.
But because like the only reason why that's the only thing I can think of is because then you've got like if you think about Planet Coaster, you've got water parks in the new game in Planet Coaster 2. You've got theme parks and then you've got hotels and like restaurants.
Why don't we just add hotels into Theme Park Tycoon 2 because Theme Park has hotels?
OMG!
I just made that's the next big update. Hotels.
No way, guys.
We're gonna get staff as well. No way.
Maybe he's not even working on a new game. He's just working on a really big update that's taking a lot of time behind the scenes.
No, maybe. But come on, how long has it been that we've gone like a month in between updates? I'm like, or like 2 months. It's been an insanely long time. I can't remember a time. I physically can't remember the last time when we had like less than a month in between updates. It's really bad.
Yeah, it is bad, but. One thing as well that me and Timon were talking about is how hilarious it'd be because obviously Planet Coaster 2 has been announced and the updates did start slowing down. wouldn't it be hilarious if Dennis behind the scenes was working on literally every new feature that we get in Planet Coaster, and then a week before Planet Coaster comes out? Can you imagine?
That would be so good. That'd be so cool.
Like,
so funny.
A week before the game comes out, he just adds like water park, hotels, restaurants, all
Let's
these
go.
new features that like we get in Planet Coaster 2. Like it'd be
That's
so,
what he's cooking in the
honestly,
background.
Mad respect to Dennis if he does that.
If he does, that would be hilarious.
Honestly, it would be pretty fire, but I don't know. Honestly, I think I just find it underwhelming, some of the last updates, and I think one of the main things that we are still missing, I don't understand why Dennis has still not done this, is like, why do we not have new trees, new props, stuff
100%.
like that?
We still got the same like scenery since like 2016 or something like that, you know?
Literally,
ages ago.
We haven't got new trees for like
10 years.
More than like at least half a decade since we got a new tree.
At
and
least.
the actual original trees that are in the game, like the blocky ones that most people use, they were added when the game came out. Like, why have we not got new trees, Dennis?
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
I mean,
stuff like that we need.
The community-made trees are just so much better. But I know there's community-made, and you know the community has a lot more time on their hands to like cook some fire things than Dennis does when he's actually working on updates. But I mean, it's just crazy how we don't have better, but at least just better looking trees.
Yeah. Exactly, and I think, well, from an actual game point of view, like as someone who knows how games work behind the scenes, I understand kind of why. Like, I doubt we'll ever get trees as good as what the community make, for one reason only. The way that Roblox works is that if you have more polys, which basically means more like more points, like if you imagine a square has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 points, right? The more of those points you have, the more laggy it's going to be. So, and it's also going to take up more space in your park. So, if Dennis made like a hyper-realistic tree that had like 10,000 points on it, that's going to obviously take up quite a lot of MB.
It's going to crash the server.
Yeah. But even then, we can get way better trees than the ones like the trees that we got in game.
Even if it's slightly better, just slightly, just smidge.
Exactly. Yeah. And like, the trees that we currently have in the game were optimized for Roblox servers back in like 2016 or 2019.
Yeah, come on.
Obviously, there was a lot less capabilities back then than there is now, Dennis. Like, can we get some new trees, please? So I don't know. Yeah, I'd love to see new trees and stuff like that. New trees.
100%. 100%. What actually, you know, well, talking about what would you like to see? What would you like to see in Theme Park Lane 2?
Yeah. Obviously, like I just said, new props and trees, especially for people with no game. Like, if they have no game passes as well, they're screwed. They can't even build better trees. They've just got to deal with the 2016 trees.
Just,
like,
I know. It's rough.
But the other things that I'd still love to see is actual ambience, let's call it. So, like, things that are happening, like birds or wind or leaves or like
weather,
trees that actually sway, and like
tornadoes. No way, your entire build just got wiped. Imagine.
But like, imagine if we actually had seasons and we had rain and we had thunderstorms or we had cloudiness, or like obviously I'd still want all this to be able to be disabled in private servers, but
actually would be sick. That sounds like if Dennis added that, top 5 updates for sure.
Yeah. Oh, for real, definitely.
Top 3.
Like, other than that, the obvious ones like animatronics, we need.
I forgot about animatronics. That is aluminium. That like animatronics would be so cool. Imagine like, you know how you got your Kosii's Cookies mascot. Imagine if that like waved or something. You place it next to your like your Kosii Cookies shop. That would be so cool.
Yeah, it'd actually be so sick. But I think the game just needs more life. Like, especially in a park where you don't have guests. Like, obviously in a park where you don't have guests, like Clearside Valley, it's really hard to make it feel alive.
Very like barren feeling for sure.
Yeah, exactly.
Abandoned.
Whereas like if you actually had like some, wind, some actual ambience, some
trees
sort of
like wave, which would be a bit difficult because it's blocks, but you know, roll.
Yeah. but like, imagine if you actually just had like simple things like birds going around,
or
even
like
leaves.
Sound effects, like chirping.
Yeah. And actually having animatronics so that things weren't everything in like a ride wasn't just still and you actually have moving things. That'd be so sick.
Like recreations as well would be so much better.
Exactly, definitely. Like
and like a FNAF ride would be insane.
yeah. It genuinely just be next level at that point.
It would. It would bring theme park tying 2 into, like you say, another level. It would be insane.
Exactly. And then I'd say the very last thing, I mean, there's a bunch of other stuff as well. I'd love to see so much stuff in the game, but the other main thing is just a complete rework of the guests so that they don't walk like in like squares, you know, on a grid, and so they don't look like absolute rubbish. Like they don't look just.
What if like you could like have this like invisible paint on your primitives, and that counts as a path? And that would be crazy if you could do something like that, and it would just then the guests would just have to follow the edges of the primitives. That would be you could actually have curved paths.
Exactly. That also links into what I was gonna say as well. Is just a complete rework of the path system. Like, I don't know if you've seen the new paths that we're getting in Planet Coaster 2, but
no, I haven't.
They're amazing. Like, you can literally draw you can literally click down points and it will just make a path. Like, you just like there's like a bunch of different path customization and just stuff like that. Would be great. And obviously it'd be nice to see stuff like staff as well.
I bet that's possible though for Dennis to do 100%. Just click here, click there, boom.
Exactly. Definitely would love to see it.
I feel like that's something that's possible. That'd be really cool. Let's talk about what you actually hate about Theme Park Tycoon 2. What grinds your gears the most? What do you hate?
Okay, so I would say the thing that I hate the most.
What do you hate? It's like that makes you so frustrated that you're a rage quit.
Yeah. Obviously the item limit is like
I hate that item limit. Don't get me started.
Although I actually have a bit of a unique perspective on the item limit. Okay, so
now bro's gonna defend the item limit. Let's get him out of here. Let's get him out of here. Let's get this guy out of here.
But like, I hate the item limit. I hate it as much as anyone hates it. But you then compare it to getting like Planet Coaster where there's no item limit. It's unboundless opportunity. You can do whatever you want. And I kind of think that makes the game almost like harder to play and worse in some weird way. Hang on, I've accidentally. Oh my god, I'm selecting things, guys. Oh god, oh no. Oh,
I thought you got kicked.
No, I can't. Oh, there we go. I've deselected it now.
There we go.
But like the thing with the item limit, it makes you be creative in some places. Like it makes you actually come up with unique
That's a fair
solutions.
point. To be real, that's a fair point.
Yeah,
that is a fair point. I haven't thought of that.
It makes you it challenges you, which I think in a game where you're not challenged at all, you really don't know where to start. It's very difficult to know where to begin. But at least in like a game like Theme Park Tycoon 2, those limits being in there do actually help quite a bit. I just personally think that the item limit should be increased a lot more.
Yeah.
Like I don't think it should be completely removed because it's sensible that it's there as well from a game standard point. You know, like an actual. In terms of how much MB things take up and the actual limits that Roblox has. Exactly. Like, it makes sense that there is an item limit. It's just
I understand it.
It's so low.
I know, yeah.
Exactly.
It is really, really, really annoying when you're trying to build something.
Yeah. And I think the most annoying part as well, actually, something that I probably hate even more than the item limit. Actually, I think the item limit I won't even hate that much. The thing that I hate the most is that when you hit the item limit, you don't know where you've hit the item limit.
Yeah.
Dennis,
Yes.
I've begged to Dennis to add this. I have bugged him.
There should be like a red indicator somewhere or something. Bro, that's so true.
Exactly. You know when like you don't have disabled collisions, it comes with like the red box to show like you can't place this here because there's someone here already. Yeah. Why don't we have that for disabled collisions then?
I don't know.
Which block.
This game is flawed in so many ways, but it also is W in so many ways.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
But I'd say the other thing, there's one more thing that I really hate, and that is, of course, just the actual limitations of the game, other than just the MB limit, like the size of the plot, the MB limit in total, you know, on top of the item limit, and just MB, limits and stuff like, but like the other limits in terms of like the stations, you can't build a station without having a gate and an exit if you don't want the stupid big circles above them, and like the stations suck. Like
also got to be on grid.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's stuff like that that really ruins it for me. But
Once
I
again,
still,
like you say, it's about it gives you a challenge, I suppose, as well. There's also that aspect.
yeah. And even though there's these really annoying things, I still prefer Theme Park Tycoon 2 over Planet Coaster, and I still come back to Theme Park Tycoon 2 rather than Planet Coaster. It's strange in its own way, but it makes it more fun. I don't know what it is.
I'm sorry, I've never last time I played Planet Coaster, I've got this on. I have got it on Steam. Last time I played it, 2019. Last time I played it, exactly. I'm not a coaster guy, so what I found, what threw me away, I guess, pushed me away is a better way to say it. On Planet Coaster is the building system for me. It's just really weird. I didn't understand how to build it, especially like how long was that? 5 years ago. I didn't understand how to build it, how to build anything. But Theme Park Tycoon 2, for me, it's really, I don't know what the word is for it, but it's just really simple for me to understand, at least. I don't know if anybody else feels the same way about that, but that's something else. Theme Park Tycoon 2, in my opinion, has probably, like, the best building system I've ever seen.
Yeah. I really, really like the way it's done. And I think that's partly just because it's a Roblox game. It has to be don't for people to understand. Like, you have to make it for dummies, because a lot of people who play Roblox are dummies. Like, you gotta really simple it, make it simple.
Yeah.
But I think, actually, the part that I love most about Theme Park Tycoon 2 is just the fact that there's such a community and that it's a multiplayer game. The fact that it's on Roblox means that, literally, you can play with your friends.
It's free as well. Together.
Exactly, yeah. Like, that's such a crazy fact that Theme Park Tycoon 2 is a free game when you've got Planet Coaster. Planet Coaster 2, when it comes out. For the deluxe version, I literally pre-ordered it last night.
I saw the community post. Freaking say 55! Yeah, I'm not getting that.
Yeah, like, people complain that the game passes in Theme Park Tycoon 2 are expensive. To get all the game passes, it's like £10, bro.
I know.
You don't need the game passes.
That's like half the price of a DLC, I'm imagining.
Yeah, honestly, Planet Coaster DLCs, at least Planet Coaster 1, were more expensive than it costs to unlock the entirety of Theme Park Tycoon 2.
No way.
Mental, innit?
It's just, you can't wrap your head around it.
No, exactly. But, and that's something that just sets it apart, I think,
how do you think,
like games like Planet Coaster.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. But how do you think Dennis could improve Theme Park Tycoon 2? And I'm more talking about, the Theme Park Tycoon 2 isn't the most popular game. It's not the most popular game. But I still think it has a really, really active community for how many players are actually playing it. Like videos still now get hundreds of thousands of views, yet only an average of 10,000 players are playing it. So how do you think Dennis could improve and get into the top 10 games,
So, I'm not going to go into this too much because I already talked about this very much in depth with timing on the Coaster Casters. So, I'm not going to go for it too much here because otherwise, this podcast is already long enough. We've already been recording for 2.5 hours. But I'll quickly just say, the main things that Dennis needs to fix is thumbnails. They need to be better. The icon needs to be updated. The game needs to be better advertised. It needs to be more clear when there is an update. Like, a lot of games put in the actual name of the game, they put update or UPD to say that there's an update or something like that.
There's a game out, I'm really addicted to it, and I think some of you guys watching probably are addicted to it as well. Rivals, been playing that a lot lately. It also has it has an update just came out the other day. It said game modes in the title, and it also had this. This is a new thing. I don't know if you know about this, but it's sort of like in the about page of a Roblox game, it pops up and it's like an announcement. I've only seen it recently, but I think Theme Park Tycoon 2 should 100% do that. Whatever that is, it sort of notifies you that an update has dropped. Go play it now, which I think is really cool.
Yeah. And it's just that sort of stuff. Again, I'm gonna keep this short and brief because I've already spoken. I just edited Coaster Casters yesterday as well for 6 hours straight. So we had a conversation for 10-15 minutes about this.
Really?
So it's very fresh in my head. But the problem is that people see that there's these thumbnails and icons that the icon has been changed in a couple of years now. The thumbnails are from parks that barely even they're from before we didn't even have off-grid building.
Bro, the parks that could be on the thumbnail today are you wouldn't think it's Theme Park Tycoon 2, It's insane.
Yeah. And when the average player, again, looking from like a game dev point of view, as someone who obviously, like with Luna games, stuff like that, we've tested a lot on how people think about games and how to make a game attractive to like a viewer. The main thing is
gambling.
Gambling, but no.
The loot boxes.
yeah. But the main thing is that if a player looks at a game and it hasn't changed from an outside point of view, the icon hasn't changed, the title hasn't changed, the bio hasn't changed, the thumbnails haven't changed, then you know what the problem is? People are going to see that and they're going to think there's nothing changed. The game is the exact same. There's no new updates. Why should I play that? And one of the biggest things that gets people back into playing a game is they're going to go, oh, there's an update. I want to have a look at that update.
Yes.
And then they start playing the game and go, oh, you know what? Actually, I quite like this game. I'm going to stop playing it more. And a lot of casual players will stop playing the game because they don't realize there's been a new update. They don't realize something new's happened.
The Roblox Stores Floor 2 just like it came out like a while ago now, but when it was like teased that it was going to come out on this date, but they didn't really give it time. So you were just sort of sitting there waiting for the update. There's no time, so you were just sort of like sitting there, but then you'd know when the update drops because the icon changed, and that's when you know. So I'll check on every now and then, but with Theme Park Tycoon 2, you don't know. You just don't know.
Literally, the only way you'd find out is if you watch YouTube videos, which I guarantee you, about 90% of Theme Park Tycoon players don't even know there's a YouTube scene. Like, they don't know there's a community and there's YouTube
that is true
channels
as well. That is true.
They don't even realize they might they genuinely might never know that the game. They might have played the game back in 2018, seen that the icon and the thumbnail hasn't changed, and gone, okay, the game's not being updated anymore. I'm not gonna play it anymore. Then.
It's dead.
So it's that sort of stuff that I think really could take the game to the next level.
I think it's like I'm not a game developer by any means, but I think it's not like a. And I don't like to offend anyone or anything, you know, but I don't think it's entirely. I don't think it's it's not a difficult thing to do really.
No.
To change a thumbnail. I mean, obviously it takes effort and time and you know I know that, but I mean, for not doing it for like you know however many years it's been, that's just you can't do that.
What's crazy as well is a couple years ago, me and Oni H, who does like he does a lot of stuff in Blender and he rendered out some stuff for like some thumbnails, and we actually made some new thumbnails for Dennis and was like, hey, would you like some help with this? I still think they look pretty good. They were very similar to like Welcome to Bloxburg's thumbnails.
Right,
like that sort of vibe, because they obviously do well. And we were like, hey, do you want any help with this? Like, we're happy to help with either just making the thumbnails.
Please don't tell me he turned it down.
And guess what? Yeah, he just said no. I don't want to
What?
help. Okay, bye-bye.
No.
That was literally it.
What?
Like, this was years ago as well. This was like 2021, 2022 maybe.
Yeah.
And like, he's still not changed the thumbnails and the icon. We complain about
Why is he so
this
like
day.
adamant to just like he literally gave him the thumbnails.
I know. I don't get it.
I don't
even care about my specific thumbnails being used.
No, I just change them.
Yeah, it was more of just like a here's an idea, here's some pointers. We're happy to help, even if you want us to just get some photos, or we want you to or if you want to get into contact with some really good builders and you know that sort of stuff. Then we're happy to. We'll help you with that. That's fine. But it was just no. It was just literally no.
That's crazy.
Don't want help. Yep.
Wow.
Exactly.
Oh
yeah,
my! I would have thought he would be like, you know, like, I would keep that into consideration or something, but just no.
No, he just went nope.
Well, on this topic, I know you did mention in your, I don't know about what you mentioned, but I know you talked on this topic in your Coaster Casters. But do you think this game will eventually die? You know, eventually, if like Dennis doesn't do anything about all of this, you know, like if he doesn't keep up with all the, you know, if he doesn't change the thumbnails and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah. So I think that Theme Park Tycoon 2 will never fully die, mainly just because there's so many passionate creators making videos, and even if Dennis doesn't seem to give a flying shit half of the time, he's just like, oh, well, whatever, who cares, you know, I could make the game like 10 times more successful by actually putting 10% of effort into the fucking icons and thumbnail. Like, I think just because of like the creators, like for example, with the Theme Park Tycoon 2 workshop, I think, you know, not to pat myself on the back too much, but I think that has helped a lot with keeping the game alive and the community especially alive. And It's stuff like that that if it wasn't for creators, Theme Park Time 2 wouldn't be as successful as it is. I'm gonna say, like,
I gotta agree with you. I don't think like if Timon just stopped, if Benny stopped, we all just stopped, it would probably just die after a month or so. I'm not gonna lie.
It wouldn't. I still don't think it'd be completely dead, but like right now the game is sat on 6.5k active. I think if YouTubers never existed and never made any videos on Theme Park Tycoon 2, it'd probably be more like half of that, if not even less, like 1,000. Yeah, exactly. Like because people aren't going to keep on returning to the game if you're not giving them any reason to, because you're not changing the icon, you're not changing no, you're updating the game for 8 weeks.
This is such like a topic that it really it just annoys me, because you could like make the game so much better, get so many more people invested.
With Lunar Games as well, like literally today we've changed, like, well, just to give you a perspective on how much the icon and thumbnail matters. Okay, so with Lunar Games, we've got a game called Maliboomer and Tycoon 2. That game was sat on about like 100 active at most at like peak time. For weeks and weeks and weeks. We kept on updating and it wasn't really getting any traction. And then literally, Timon changed a thumbnail, right? He changed the thumbnail once. And the game went from getting 100 active to over 6,500 active.
What the
on the front page of Roblox. It was literally on the front page of
Dennis,
Roblox.
do this, please. Come on.
Exactly. That was because of a thumbnail that performed well, and people saw that and went, okay, there's been an update. I'm going to check this out. Literally, that's all it takes for the game to literally go from 100 active to front page of Roblox.
That is mental.
That's how much it matters.
6,000? Really?
Yeah. And that thumbnail took Timon half an hour.
What? Oh my.
And that was the difference between the game sticking on 100 active.
There's got to be a reason why Dennis. I don't know what reason could. Wow.
I don't know, man. But it's so stupid, especially like.
I know.
I can see why it's annoying for you, but it's even more annoying for me and Timon, because we're literally game designers. We know how important that is.
Yes.
We know, like, how
you
much
know what goes
really
into
matters.
the game.
And Dennis just seems to hate the idea of his game performing better. Like, what the hell, Dennis? Why? We're trying to help.
But anyway, I think we touched on Planet Coaster 2 earlier on. But going back onto that, what are your thoughts on Planet Coaster 2? What do you think about it?
I don't know. I'm very excited for it, but I still don't think I'll ever stop making Theme Park Time 2 videos, or at least not for the next year, at least I'd say. But I am going to try I'm going to try Planet Coaster 2 videos. I'm going to make some videos, see how they go. And let me make this clear here, Dennis, okay? Because you seem to not give a absolute shit about anything. if Planet Coaster 2 does better than Theme Park Tycoon 2 on my channel, and I'm not gonna lie, I'll probably prefer it based on the stuff that I've been seeing from, like the actual teasers and stuff they've been putting out. I'm gonna stop making Theme Park Tycoon 2 videos straight away, Dennis.
Dennis is cooking on the thumbnails right now. Come on.
Yeah. Like, I'm sorry, but it's the same with Timon. Timon said the same thing, that if Planet Coaster 2 performs better on his channel, he's probably gonna pretty much stop Theme Park Tycoon 2. Like, I don't think either of us will stop making Theme Park Tycoon 2 videos altogether.
No.
We'll still make like 10% of our content, let's say, will be Theme Park Tycoon 2, but we'll stop making so many videos. And if that happens, Dennis, your game will start to die off, because without those creators, like if I stop going over to Planet Coaster 2 as well more, and not really making Theme Park Tycoon 2 videos, the Theme Park Tycoon 2 workshop will stop getting as many blueprints and updates, and I will start focusing on that and events. Like, Dennis, that will happen. Your game will start to not do as well. So please, think about making your game actually better, and stop pissing everyone off who makes your game successful, because it's not gonna go well, Dennis. Why would you do that? Like,
I agree with you 100% there. I don't know my thoughts on my thoughts on Planet Coaster 2, because I've never really been into Planet Coaster 2. Don't know what makes I don't know. I just don't know. I haven't really seen that much of it. But I think I will probably stick to Theme Park Tycoon 2. Like you said, I might dibble dabble in a bit of content here and there on Planet Coaster 2 when it drops. But I think for me, I'll probably stick to Theme Park Tycoon just because I love it so much, It is really annoying that Dennis won't change the freaking thumbnails.
Yeah, simple stuff like that ruins it. Like, And it just feels like you're losing. You're fighting a losing battle. Like it's like, why am I putting up with all of this?
I know.
When I could just do another game like Planet Coaster 2. And
yeah.
I don't know. I don't want to really say that like, oh, I'm just gonna switch to Planet Coaster 2, because if Planet Coaster 2 doesn't do as well and I turn out not to like it, then I will stay with Theme Park Tycoon 2.
100%. Yeah.
The thing is, with Planet Coaster 2, they listen to the community. They actually care about what people say. Like,
oh yeah, I forgot about that. There's no way to talk to Dennis and stuff.
One of the major things with Planet Coaster 2 is in Planet Coaster 1, it was very much like a very like fantasy game, let's say. A lot of the parts were really big and hard to use in like a realistic way, but what they noticed with Planet Coaster 1 is that people were trying to push the limits of the game to make realistic parks, to make bigger and better parks that weren't just like really goofy, like, you know, spaghetti parks, but actually making really good parks. And that's where a lot of the community stayed with for years, even after the game stopped making getting updates. And they've listened. They're making Planet Coaster 2 a lot more realistic and allowing that stuff to happen, adding features that help. Imagine if Deadass actually listened to people.
I know. It would be way better. The Theme Park Tycoon 2 would be skyrocketing right now.
And it's insane to think that literally Dennis is a single person, and still somehow it's harder to reach out to a single person than an entire freaking corporation. Like, why? How is that? How does that make sense?
I don't get it.
Like, how does Frontier have better like a better community, better connections with creators, and listens to people more than you, Dennis? You're a person. You're not a company. Companies are normally harder to get into contact with. Like, it makes no sense.
Yeah.
Honestly,
I don't get it either. Well, that's all the questions I actually had for you. That's like what, 2.5 hours? That is
I've been recording for 2 hours and 40 minutes.
What? That is the longest. Oh my days. The longest I think I've ever recorded one of these. So thank you so much for coming on. Definitely go check out Kosii, link in the description, and the workshop, link in the description. Let me know what you thought of this. Well, this is the second episode, so let me know what you thought of the first, or just the podcast in general. Hope you finished your fish and chips. Kosii, that will sound really odd to you, but hey, people who watch the intro will understand. That's all we had today for the Notme Hour. Go follow us on Spotify. I hope we're on there. I don't really understand how all that stuff works. We're here every Friday, 3 p.m. BST. Have a good one. See you guys. Bye-bye.
See you later.
Bye-bye.